Oh, hello! What are you doing in my storage unit? What was that? You would like me to tell you a story? Oh, I would love to tell you a story. Let's see. You know, this is a great place to tell a story because there's so many memories here. So let me see if I can find one. I think oh, I know what story I will tell you. This is a box full of memories. Oh, I was a ping pong champion one time. Oh, and who would... Bees. This was from the teepee era. Now, here's something I can tell you. Oh, check this out. This is a Malaysian soccer ball. Now, I have stories about Malaysia, so I think that would be a great thing to tell you. A story about Malaysia, about the soccer ball. The soccer ball reminds me of Malaysia. And so does this hat. I don't think it looks so good on me, but nevertheless, let's see. All right, so I like to start all my stories with once upon a time, a very long time ago. And actually, this was a pretty long time ago. About 20, no. Oh my, almost 30 years ago. So maybe 28 years ago, something like that. I went to Malaysia as a missionary, and I was vacation Bible school leader. I went as the girls' counselor as well. So I was the head counselor for the girls that went. We had about 30-some girls that went, and then there were all the guys and the staff and stuff, but I was in charge of the girls. I was assistant youth leader at the time, and we made this adventure over to Malaysia for, I don't know, it seemed like it was a month. It could have been a little less than that, but we went over there to build a church. And some super cool stories with getting there deep in the jungle. But this was a tribe of Iban people. So they spoke Iban. And it was a small tribe. I think there was like 1,500 people there in this little village that we actually had to hike into the jungle to get to. Well, little did I know that they play volleyball with something like this. That's handmade, but they use their feet. So they don't use their hands for volleyball, they use their feet. So they would flip over. I mean, just the acrobatics that they would do was just amazing. But they would soak, this is a handmade volleyball, and they would soak it, and it would get a little bit softer because it's pretty hard right now. But this is a good 25 years old right here, and I bought this from one of the kids in the village so I could take it home. And I bought this there as well. But the story that I think I wanted to tell you about was about a time when one of the guys in the mission trip and I decided that we were going to go on a little bike ride. So in the village there was one motorcycle, and there was one tape player, and I'll never forget the young boy playing one of his tapes from America. I don't know, Scorpions or something, I don't know, but it was one song over and over and over blaring, and I'm like, we're in the jungle and I have to hear this. But they had one motorcycle, and one of the young men in the missionary group wanted to go take it for a ride, and so him and I had become friends. And the only way that you could be in the village and seen together as a boy and a girl would be if you're brother sister. So even married couples weren't allowed to be seen together, which is super weird. But so we were brother sister while we were there, and because we were hanging out a lot. And he got access to this motorcycle. The native person just let him use it for a time, and we were going to go see some huts, some different way that people were living in another village. Well, he got the motorcycle somewhere around dusk. So I got on the back and we start down the road, this little tiny narrow path down the road to the next village. And as dusk came, these huge tarantulas, started coming out of the jungle, and they would hop across the road, and there was just a ton of them. And we looked at the gas gauge and we were like, there's not enough gas to get all the way there and all the way back. So let's turn around. So he's an adventurous sort of guy, and I'm not quite as adventurous as him. So I'm like, yes, turn around. So he turned it around, turned the bike around. We went back, and as we were going back, the moon was absolutely beautiful. It was just huge, and so we came to the village. So we're out of the jungle. We're in the at the village, but we're in the hill that kind of overlooks the village. So he parks the bike, and we sit down on the side of the road, or in the middle of the road, actually, a dirt road, and we're looking at this beautiful, beautiful moon. And all of a sudden, something comes out of the jungle behind us, and we're like, what was that? And you could feel something going behind us, and then you could feel it kind of coming around to the left side of us, and it came back out of the jungle, and it came in front of us. And then we saw it clearly. It was a bobcat, a cat that came out of the jungle, and it came in front of us. And I have no idea why that bobcat didn't see us. We were all alone at the top of the village. It wasn't like there was a lot of people around. It was dark, and it was deep in the jungle, and this cat went right by us. It was black, and it just went right by us. Oh, needless to say, we got up real quietly, got back on the bike, and cruised down to the village, and didn't try that one again. So all the time in the village, there were so many things that happened there. I have story after story after story, beautiful, wonderful things, swimming in the jungle, rivers, and meeting the wonderful people there. But I know that Papa kept us safe that moment when we almost encountered a bobcat a little too closely in the jungles of Malaysia. So that's my story for today. And as I like to end all my stories, and she lived happily ever after. Yes. I am going to get to live happily ever after because that bobcat didn't get me, right? Maybe that bobcat will live happily ever after, I don't know. But that ends my story today, so thank you for coming by, and definitely come by for another story, okay? All right, I'll see you then. Bye-bye. I don't think it matches my outfit one bit. Super cool.